What do you think the purpose and meaning of life is, Barbara?
If we're saying purpose, or like what is our purpose, I would say to get rid of the lie. First, to find out that you're living in the Truman Show. It's all a lie, just about 90-something%. And I've sort of been behind the curtain, so I have a better view than most people, but not going to go there. To let that drop, let go of the lie of you, and then just do whatever it takes. May I mention the name of my book for a moment? Is that okay?
Yes, sure. Absolutely.
So the name of my newest book is Whatever the Fuck It Takes. And by the way, fuck is an acronym, which actually was fornication under consent of the king back in England 100 million years ago. In order to have a child, you had to have a permission slip, believe it or not. I know it sounds crazy, and put on the door. And that was the acronym FUCK, fornication under consent of the king. And when I was looking for the title of my newest book, somehow that came to me, and I was thinking, my God, creating a child is probably one of the most incredible creations. And so that's where I got the name from. But anyway, and that incredible energy, that's just a part of the universe. And now I'm just absolutely lost to whatever we were speaking about.
Why did you write this book?
It was just my story. The people who would be listening to this show are people who usually change. They change more frequently in life, or are willing to change. And when I say change, I mean to become more of who they truly be. Again, getting rid of all the things that were not the lie, and taking back the potency and power and magic that we truly are. I had a relationship about 5 years ago, still dear friends. Actually, I've had 5 relationships, and I'm best friends with all but one. And so and as I say, that's consciousness. This was just the story of the changes that occurred in my life and through the body of work that I facilitate. And that story is really, in order to live out that story, one has to exactly do and be whatever the fuck it takes to get there. And it's not an easy thing, and most people don't go on that adventure because there's a lot of change, and there's a lot of looking at things that most people would consider as like bad. Why did this happen? This is bad. This is wrong. This is whatever. And one of the biggest things about consciousness and the way that I facilitate and what the book is about is that if we haven't been sort of brainwashed the way we are here, and we weren't looking for results in life, we were just looking for the gifts of everything in every moment, which would mean, what if there was no wrong? Having cancer, getting a divorce, having someone die that you love, whatever it is. What if there was nothing that was wrong? What if everything was simply a gift? And in each gift, if we look, we find it. And that gift gives us a little bit more of the power and potency and magic that we truly be. And for me, that's what life really is.
A gift.
Yes, everything.
In every way, right.
Everything is a gift if you look at it that way. But if you jump into the fear and the wrongness of it, then of course you won't get to see it because you'll be drowning in the lie that you just bought.
That is a very interesting perspective, seeing everything as a gift, including the bad things. Everything's perfect as it is.
Exactly. Like usually, in the work that I facilitate, not only myself, but so many of the other people who do that, if we're ever being interviewed, and of course now I have so many interviews because of my newest book, basically, but what we say is like, even when we're creating the names for the classes, pick any name. It doesn't make a difference, okay? Because the bottom line is, we're going to be speaking to the energy of the people in the class, and that's going to change. So it's like, what's the difference what the label is? Like you're saying, there's good and there's bad. Well, I don't see it as good and bad. I see it as the gift. And if you look into, it's like saying you find a bag in the garbage on the side of the garbage where they keep the garbage. What happens if you looked in it and there was whatever, whatever would be wonderful for you, whether it's a bag of money, a bag of diamonds, or a bag of candy? It doesn't make a difference. It's always going to be there because the universe is not gonna, there's gonna be a gift in everything. And that's really why we're here. What is the gift? One of the questions in the body of work I facilitate, which by the way is called Access Consciousness, and it's taught in 179 countries. It's literally the leading edge of consciousness on the planet right now. And I've taken just about every training there ever has been, starting with the psychology and then going on. But the thing is, when you can be in life and having that belief system, point of view, whatever you want to call it, life becomes a different journey. When I talk about consciousness, and again, most people really have no clue what consciousness is. And the way that I look at it, and also this is just, again, through the body of work I facilitate, because we're sort of like all in it together and going on this certain path, which is consciousness. But it's being in a place with no judgment, living in total allowance, and never having judgment other than in the nanosecond that something occurs. You might have a point of view about it, but you're not going to be judging it. It's not going to be a good or a bad, because you know that you have the tools, the energy, the awareness, whatever you want to call it, to, as I said, change that. If it looks like, oh my God, this is horrible. Well, is that true? What else is possible here? How could this turn out better than I can imagine? You see, the universe has been run on algorithms. Not going to go there, blah, blah, blah. But a question is an algorithm interrupt. So whatever is going on in one's life, all you have to do is ask a question, just as I just said. Something happens, it doesn't seem right compared to, whatever. And so you would simply ask, what's right about this I'm not getting? Because in that moment, you don't get it, because it looks like, oh, this is so bad, this is so wrong. And then when you do that, the universe simply will send to you the energy that matches that limitation that you're in the moment. So it could be as simple as, I just had a client who left a little while ago, and she was telling me, this was the second time that she came, and she said, oh, I used the question and something occurred and I thought it was horrible. And I said, what's right about this? She said she felt really wrong. She did something and all of a sudden she went into the wrongness of her and what's wrong with me and whatever. And so she said, she asked the question to the universe, and then a friend called to tell her that last week when they were having a chat, whatever she said changed her friend's day. And she felt so wonderful, and the friend was thanking her for that. And there it was. She's thinking how bad and wrong she is, and all of a sudden she gets a call telling her how wonderful, and thank you for the contribution you were in my life, because you helped me to look at life in a different way. So asking questions is just magical.